morning, students.
My name is Karmani.
I am Caleb.
Today we will be teaching you a topic on software, that is optimization of cost. So most of you are wondering what's optimization. Optimization is the procedure to make a system or a design as effective as possible.
Optimization is used in many different fields. Today, we will look at optimization of costs, which is usually used in the business world to maximize revenue. Okay, now I'm going to show you the application of optimization of costs in the real world of business. Okay, why do shops give discount? Do you think they're losing out? Well, shops usually calculate whether or not they will profit from the discounts they give. As you guys know, the more discount equals the more customers. But there's this point where if you give too much discount, you do not earn enough to cover what you would earn normally. And that is the point where you do not want to go. So this is where optimization comes in. With optimization, you know where just the right price to price your products so you get the maximum profit.
So now we'll be looking at example situation that uses optimization of cost in the business world. So from the question previously, we get the information as follows. So we know that one t-shirt is sold at a price of $10 and the number of shirts sold per month is 100 t-shirts. So from the question previously, we get the information as follows. So we know that one t-shirt is sold at a price of $10 and the number of shirts sold per month is 100 t-shirts. And from the question itself, we can know that by increase of $1 in the cost, the number of sales of the t-shirts decreases by 5. However, when the price decreases of $1, the number of shirts increases by 5. So basically, the revenue equals to cost per shirt and number of shirts sold. Letting the x represent the number of increase or decrease of $1, we can get the complete revenue function. That is, Rx, which is revenue, equals to 10 plus x, which represents the cost per shirt, which 10 is the original price, plus the increase of $1 times 100 minus 5, which is 5 is the decrease, is minus because it's decreased by 5 shirts. So from the equation derived previously, we can now substitute various number of x values into the equation to obtain the total revenue. So first, for example, substituting the negative 5 into the equation, which is cost per shirt, 10 plus negative 5, we get 5, and negative 5 and substitute into the number of shirts sold equation, 100 minus 5x, we get 105. We then multiply these both values to obtain the total revenue. This method is done for the rest of the values. You can see that the number of shirts sold decreases when the cost per shirt increases. And the total revenue, you can also see that the total revenue only increases for a certain point, which is x equals to 5, and decreases after x equals to 5 onwards. You can see that the total revenue is achieved at highest when x equals to 5. So from the previous x value that we used to calculate the total revenue, we obtain the total revenue, which is also the y-axis. So when we substitute that x value into the x-axis and the total revenue as the y-axis, we can plot a simple graph as shown here. And you can see that the highest point, which is when x equals to 5, the total revenue is 1,105 is the maximum revenue.
Now, using graphing technology, we can graph the equation 10 plus x multiplied by 100 minus 5x, and we'll get something that looks like this. Okay, now the slope of a tangent is a line that touches the graph at only one point. So, as you can see, when x is negative 5, the slope of the tangent will be shown as this line. It only touches the point at this point. Okay, now, because the slope of the tangent is a line, we know the equation is y equals mx plus c. This equation you should know from the previous lessons. And you should also know that m is the value for the slope of the tangent. Okay, now, observe as x increases, you'll notice that the slope of the tangent decreases at a constant rate. This decrease of a constant rate can be represented by this line. Okay, we'll now draw the line for you. Look at that. Wow. using the equation m equals to negative 10x plus 50. Okay, m is the slope of the tangent. So, using this equation, we can determine the slope of the tangent at any point of x by simply substituting the value of x. Okay, now to find the maximum of the graph, we know that the slope of tangent, as you can see, is 0 because it's a horizontal line. Okay, now by substituting 0 into the slope of the tangent, we get this. Okay, from this equation, we can now solve the value for x when the graph is at its maximum. Okay, we now know that when the slope of tangent is 0, the value of x is 5. So this will show that where the maximum is, which is at 5. Okay, now I will go through with you a much easier way to find the value of x when the graph is at its maximum. Okay, to do this, all you need to do is basic differentiation. So easy. Okay, and in front of me I have the equation of Rx, which is the equation of the graph, and R prime x, which is the slope of the tangent for any value of x. And if you remember correctly, this is exactly the same of the equation of this line, which it represents the value of the slope of the tangent at any point of x. Okay, now firstly, you just have to expand this equation to get negative 5x squared plus 50x plus 1000. Okay, from there, you just use basic differentiation to get R prime x, which is negative 10x plus 50, simplified to be negative x plus 5. Okay, using this equation, we can now determine the value of x at its maximum by simply equating R prime x to 0. Okay, now substituting the value into this equation, we get the value of x to be 5. And that's how we do it the easy way. Don't you just love differentiation?
Therefore, from all the calculation, we know that x must equal to 5 in order to gain the maximum revenue. So by substituting the x equal to 5 into the revenue function, we will get the total revenue to be $1,125. Therefore, Mr. D should sell the shares at a price of $15 each to obtain the maximum revenue of $1,125 per month.
Thank you for watching.
Hope you guys learned something from our video.
And stay tuned for more videos.
Bye!
Goodbye!